On lesson 4.7, we're going to be talking about writing equations in point-slope form. A linear equation written in the form y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 is in point-slope form. The line passes through the point x1, y1, and the slope of the line is m. The reason why we can call this point-slope form is to write the equation, we must have one point of the line and the slope. So we're needing the point and the slope. Here we're going to write in point-slope form an equation of the line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. So remember, we're y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we're simply plugging this information into this formula or into this equation type. So with this first question, number 1, we know that our ordered pair is x, then y. So this is the point x1, y1. So we have y minus y1 is 2 equals the slope of negative 4 times x minus the first x point of 1. So this would be the answer to our question. Now go ahead and try number 2 and 3 on your own. Looking at number 2, we can do the same thing. We have y minus our y coordinate equals the slope times x minus the x coordinate. Now we know that y minus 0 is simply y, so this equation is going to be y equals 1 times x minus 7. For number 3, we have y minus the first y coordinate, negative 5, equals m, which is negative 3/4, times x minus our x coordinate of negative 8. Now, we should remember from earlier in the year and from years previous that minus a negative is like plus a positive. So we can rewrite this as y plus 5 equals negative 3/4 times x plus 8. Now again, in point-slope form, we have to have one point and the slope to write it in the correct format. When we look at the next step, it says write in slope-intercept form an equation of the line that passes through the given points. Now see here, we don't have the slope, we just have 2 points. Well, if you recall from earlier in the year, or earlier in the chapter, we can find the slope by using 2 points by taking y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So first we must find the slope, and then we can write it in the correct form. So for number 4, y2 minus y1, so negative 4 minus 1 over x2 minus x1. Negative 4 minus 1, same sign, so we add and keep the sign. So we have negative 5. 3 minus negative 2, remember minus a negative is like plus a positive, so 3 plus 2 is 5. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we know that our slope is negative 1. When we go to write this in our equation, we can use this first point as our x1, y1. So y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1. Now remember, minus and negative is like plus a positive, so we want to rewrite it. Y minus 1 equals negative 1 times x plus 2. Go ahead and try number 5 and 6. All right, on number 5, we can start by taking 3 minus negative 5, which is 8. Negative 3 minus negative 5 is 2. 8 over 2 is 4. So we can start by plugging in this information. So y minus y1, negative 5, equals the slope times x minus x1. Again, we want to rewrite it. So minus a negative is like plus a positive. So y plus 5 equals 4 times x plus 5. On the third one here, we have 9 take away 6 is 3. Negative 2 minus negative 8 is 6. 3 divided by 6 is 1/2. So again, y minus 6, or y1, equals 1/2 times x minus x1. So we have y minus 6 equals 1/2 times x minus negative 8 is like plus 8. This is all we have to do. We just have to find that slope and find the 1 point and plug it into the correct format. Now with number 7 here, it says you finished parasailing and are being pulled back to the boat. After 2 seconds, you are 25 feet above the boat. Write and graph an equation that represents your height, y, in feet above the boat after x seconds. At what height were you parasailing? So we know a couple things. The first thing that we know is from the picture. We are falling 10 feet per second. If we're falling, we're going down, so that is a negative 10. So we're going down negative 10 feet per second. The other thing we know is from the problem up here. After 2 seconds, we are 25 feet above the boat. So the point 225 is on the line. So that would be a point on the graph of the equation. So, and we know that 2 seconds has to be x from down here, x seconds, and y feet. So our point is 225. So for the first part, part A, we need to write and graph the equation that represents your height in feet above the boat after x seconds. So we're talking about point slope form. So we need this to be in point slope form. So we can start by y minus y1 is equal to our slope. It's the change per unit. So going down 10 feet per second. So negative 10 is our slope. For each unit of time, we're going down 10 feet times x minus x1. Now, we can go ahead and solve this for y. So we want to change this into slope-intercept form. So we can start by distributing the negative 10 through the parenthesis. So y minus 25 equals negative 10 times x is negative 10x. Negative 10 times negative 2 is positive 20. To get y by itself, we must add 25 to both sides. And we're going to find that y equals negative 10x plus 45. So for part B, at what height were you parasailing? So at what height did you start? So for part B, we can say that the time is 0 at the beginning, which is 0 seconds. What was our height? So we can take our equation here and plug in 0 for x because that's our seconds. So at 0 seconds, how far were we? And this is actually 45 here. So negative 10 times 0 is 0, plus 45 is 45. Our units of height is feet, so we started at 45 feet. You could also find this by graphing an equation. So you could have graphed, drawn a graph, and then once you find your slope-intercept form here, you can graph that equation to get this answer as well.